What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. So, if you guys have been following me for a while, then you know that I love me some headphones. Quite a few, done some reviews on some, taught you guys how to pick a good pair of over-the-ear headphones. Now this one's going to be about picking some good earbuds. So, my daily drivers are going to be the WF-1000 Mark IIIs. The 4s are about to come out, probably going to get those. But, yeah, let's waste some time. Let's get right into it. All right, so I'm gonna break this down into 5 categories for you, and I'll definitely put it down in the description, and I'll also make sure that I put some timestamps so you guys can go through and find the exact category that you want to look at and kind of go from there. But yeah, let's go ahead and start talking about the first one, performance. All right, so performance is going to be pretty much one of the main categories that you want to focus on. That's going to be like your sound quality, your loudness, your Bluetooth connection, water resistance, those kind of things, because earbuds are one of those things that are supposed to be convenient. They're not kind of like over-the-ear headphones where they take up a lot of space. So you want to make sure that they fit all of these kind of subcategories really well. So first one, sound quality. You got like a few different little nuances, little things going on. So like for instance, mids, highs, and lows, or highs, mids, and lows. But those are going to be like your lows are going to be your male vocalists. Your highs are going to be your female vocalists. Your mids are going to be everything in between. And so that's not something really they're going to tell you on the box, but it's something that you can kind of look for when you look into a review or when you buy them, and you can kind of listen for that kind of stuff. Like, are the highs, like when a male or a female vocalist hit their high notes, does it sound good or is it ear piercing? Your lows, do they mud out your mids and your highs? Your mids, are they present? Are they there? So it's definitely something to look into and kind of focus on when you're looking for a good pair of earbuds. So loudness. Loudness is definitely something that doesn't need to be overlooked. Whenever it comes to loudness, people that go to like the gym or work outside, they want a pair of earbuds that are loud. They want something that's going to really get what they're listening to through. You want to make sure that it's clear at max volume. You want to make sure that there's not any discrepancies like with your lows mudding or like washing out your highs, things like that. That's why like cars with a lot of bass, you can't really hear the words. So you want to make sure everything's even and equal. So that's definitely a good thing to look forward to in a pair of headphones. Whenever I listen to something, I'm usually at like 60 to 70% volume. Every pair of headphones and ears will vary. So play with it, see what you like, and kind of go from there. All right. So another performance thing is Bluetooth connection. So Bluetooth connection is, of course, the main way you're going to listen to the headphones or the earbuds. What type is there? There's like your Bluetooth 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 5.1, 5.2. Hardly anything's 5.2 nowadays, at least. But you want something that's 5.0 or higher just because you get faster connection. Now you're starting to get things with like multi-device listening where you can have like your phone, your tablet, and your computer all paired to the same pair of headphones, and you don't have to worry about going into your settings and switching and choosing. It can kind of listen to all of those at once, and when you go from one to the other, it's kind of seamless. Also, with higher quality Bluetooth, you also get better battery life, you get faster connection. Like whenever I take my Sonys and I turn my phone on and put them in, it is immediately connected. Like it wastes no time. So I don't have to wait for that with like Bluetooth 4.0, 4.2, like in my car. I have a 2011 Ford Fusion, and it takes a second for the Bluetooth to connect. So it's definitely a nice performance feature that I usually like to look forward to. Okay, so another big one, and there's kind of like some very fine gray area, fine line in between these two. So there's water resistance and sweat resistance. So water resistance is rain, showers, swimming, getting splashed on, things like that. Sweat is, of course, sweat. It's corrosive, it's acidic. So if you get a pair of headphones that say water resistant, they are almost not sweat resistant. like Jaybirds. Those things are awesome. They tested them in rainforests with the humidity. They're made and designed by athletes for athletes. So you get really good sweat resistance. They are not corrosive, or they don't get corroded easily whenever it comes to sweat. So that's something to pay attention to. Water resistance is definitely important, especially if you work outdoors. I'll put a list probably on one of these sides of the different water resistant levels and kind of where certain headphones would fall into as far as their IPX rating. So that's definitely something to look forward to, and you can understand the IPX rating. And I'll probably put a link in the description to take you to the IPX website so you can look through all the different designations and kind of learn for yourself. All right, so this is category number 2. So category number 2 has 3 subcategories. So we got build, driver type, and call quality. So the build, that's going to be like the type of material, the shape it is, and the type of drivers and the case quality. So like the type of material, like for instance, these Sonys, they have like this really nice soft plastic feel to it. It's not like the cheap plastic that you would find on like $30 headphones. It has like a stone finish feel too. And I mean, those things are almost $300, so I could understand that. And then you got something like the Samsung Galaxy Buds, which were, I think, $130, and they are more of a hard plastic feel. They have like a pearlescent color, but they were just hard plastic. And I wasn't a big fan of that. But the build quality is definitely going to be super important, just because it's going to like come down to the durability and how long they last. And then there's driver type. So driver type is the actual thing that produces the sound. So you have like single drivers, dual drivers, like earbuds really don't get more than that. I mean, actual over the headphones don't either. But single versus dual drivers, they can usually like dedicate one to bass and one to vocals, and so you can get really good rich sound. Like for instance, the Liberty Air Pro 3s, I think that's what they are, Liberty Pro 3s. Liberty 3 Pros, yes, that one. But those are a dual driver, and they were designed by sound engineers. So I mean, all headphones are, but these were particularly designed for sound engineers. So it's pretty neat that they have these different types of drivers. Most cheaper earbuds are going to have single. There's some out there that are dual, but not the best. But yeah, just kind of look at those and kind of judge what you may want to get out of your earbud when it comes to single versus dual. And then, of course, you have the size of the driver. I'll put the list of most common sizes of drivers when it comes to earbuds. I think it's like 15 millimeters or something like that, maybe even smaller, like 4 to 5. I'll have to do that. But driver size is definitely super important to how loud they can get. Earbuds, they go in your ear, so they don't have to be super big. Over the ear headphones, they have these giant ear cups, so they have to make these giant drivers on the inside. But that's really going to be important when it comes to getting good quality sound. And then another like small important topic is call quality, because I mean you got some of your business people out there that like to use these, because we all know the single Bluetooth earpiece that everybody was used to using. Now you have earbuds that do the exact same thing, and so there's call quality that comes into play. So like, do they have multiple mics to pick up your voice and block out background noise? Do they have noise canceling for your mic? Do they have wind reduction, so it blocks like the rushing of wind? Like say you're running and taking a phone call, or you're outside and a gust of wind hits you in the face and it causes that sound or whatever. But yeah, you definitely want to look into call quality and see if that's something that's important to you, and kind of focus on that category. All right, category number 3 is going to be features. So features is kind of a big one. It's just because all these headphones now are starting to come with more and more features, like apps that can customize your noise cancellation itself, ambient sound mode, touch features. So there's a lot. But when you're looking at the features, so like your app's going to be your main interface when it comes to how your headphones interact with your phone or your tablet. Like, is the app easy to use, easy to navigate? Can can you find the things that you're needing to look for? Do they have some neat things like, I know Apple has their Dolby Atmos with their spatial audio. Sony has their 360 audio. So, I mean, you got these neat features in the app that you can play with and mess around. So I usually recommend downloading the app so you can get familiar with these features so you don't have to worry about if you're going to get the most out of your headphones, like the expensive headphones that you're paying for. So another neat thing that your phones do that not just your headphones take a play in is decoding. So your headphones do have to decode the audio that comes from the phone. Phone has an encoder, headphones have a decoder. So Qualcomm aptX is a really good one that gives you CD-like quality. And CD-like quality is close to vinyl. Then of course with like your high quality headphones like your Sonys, things like that, the WF-1000s and the WH-1000s both support high resolution audio. They're one of the only companies that do that, and I mean Sony really likes to do that, but having a good decoder in your headphones can decompress the sound and give you a really, really good quality sound. I'll leave a link down below so you can go learn about the different codecs and how they decode the sound and give you your sound quality. It's really cool. And something that I recommend looking into if you want to really get into headphones, especially Bluetooth ones, because that's how they get their stuff done. Okay, so going back to that single Bluetooth earpiece I was talking about, single bud use is very, very popular nowadays because, I mean, you'll get like, say, for instance, people that like my buddy Oscar at work, he pops one AirPod in and listens to or takes phone calls or does whatever, and then he'll like swap them in and out. It gives you the ability to like take phone calls but still be aware fully of what's going on. Or if you have like at work we have to have an earpiece in, you can put one in the other ear. So it's kind of nice, especially if you're like a truck driver. You want to have one ear open at all times to hear what's going on, but if you want to be able to take a phone call, you can pop one in and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about that. So if that's a feature that you're looking for, make sure that you ask questions or look into it before you buy, because you don't want to just go there and look at the headphones and not know what you're looking for. So definitely do some research, and that's pretty much what this video is meant for. Another good feature to look for is battery life for both the buds and the case. So like for instance, my Sonys, they have, I think it's 24 hours in the case and 9 hours in the buds, and that's with noise cancellation on. I think it's 11 with it off. I think I'll put the description or the little info somewhere on the screen. But battery life is super important because it's going to determine how often you charge them, how long you can use them, and how long they're going to last in the long run. Like I think these headphones in total, same thing goes for my over-the-ear ones, like since I've bought them about a year ago, maybe about 7 or 8 times I've charged them. Then again, I'm not a super heavy power user, like listening to them all the time. I have like other ways to listen to music, but I usually use them in the gym and then when I'm like shopping around in Walmart. So about 2 hours at a time is what I'm usually listening to my music on my headphones. So that's a big thing to take into play, is how long you're going to be using them and kind of go from there. Because if you are going to be using them for long periods of time, 9 to 11 hours, it's going to determine the features you use and that kind of stuff. So take that into consideration. Okay, so interaction. So buttons, touchpads, little squeezes like the AirPod Pros. Those are all going to be some of your interactions with your earbuds, how you change the song, answer phone calls, hang up, activate your assistant, different things like that. So if you don't like gestures, make sure you look for something with a button like the Jabras or the some of the JBLs, different things like that. But the Sonys, the AirPods, the Galaxy Buds, those all have some type of touch or like some capacitive touch features. I like that personally. Only bad thing is like if I'm doing like overhead press or something, my shoulders might touch it, pause it, or do something weird. But I enjoy the feature. It's very convenient. Makes life a lot easier. I don't have to like jam it in my ear to change the song. But if you want buttons, then look for one with buttons, because some people like to be able to feel the tactile or need to feel the tactile to change the song, things like that. So just depends on what you prefer. All right, ambient sound. That's a super important one if you're an outdoorsy person, a jogger, or something like that, because you want to be aware. If you're working on a backhoe, you want to be able to hear somebody come up and yell at you or something like that, or you want to be able to hear a car coming up behind you if you're jogging down the street. I was running down the street and I used it, because you always, of course, want to run with traffic so you can see the car coming at you, and you want to be able to hear it. So it's nice to be able to hit the ambient mode and hear everything around you, because you never know when you might need it. It might save your life. All right, noise cancellation. So noise cancellation is a pretty popular big one nowadays. Noise cancellation is going to be one of the big determining factors for a lot of people. Like when I was on a sales floor, I had a bunch of people come in constantly asking for headphones to help block out noise. Like even my dad needed a pair of headphones that blocked out the lawnmower. So noise cancellation is super, super important to a lot of people. It helps with the kids screaming in the background when they're trying to focus, or you're mowing the lawn so you don't deteriorate your ears, things like that. I used them whenever I was doing construction. It really definitely helped save my ears a lot. So there's different types of noise cancellation. I'll definitely put the description of them right here and the link down in the description so you can go learn about it. But noise cancellation is really cool. There's different types, like some with the mic on the outside, some on the inside, and then some on the both. And Sony used the one where it's on the both because it gives you some of the best results. But you don't have to get noise cancellation if you don't want it. It does make the unit cost more. Like these cost $300. So some cost, like the Jabras, those cost around $199. But it just depends. Sometimes you might want to spend a little less and get still some good quality. So just kind of judge your features, see if they fit into your budget. So another really important one, fit. So how they're going to fit in your ears. So there's a few different things that I always like to point out whenever it comes to earbuds and trying to choose the right one for you. Ear fatigue. Ear fatigue is really, really bad. It's one of those things that it's like sharp pains in your ears, kind of like they're getting pulled on or they're getting constant pressure, and that's what they are, after certain periods of use. So like earbuds, after a while, you can, of course, get some sharp pains in your ears from use, and that's called ear fatigue. Same thing goes for on-ear headphones. That's why I always recommend over-ear. On-ear is like, I'm going to use them for 20 minutes and I'm done. But if they're over the ear or inside your earbuds or inside your ears, then just depends on like the cushions and things like that on if they're going to hurt or not. And so, like for instance, ear tips. Ear tips are going to be another really important part of the fit and how they kind of sit in your ear and if they stay. Like me, I cannot use the rubber ear tips. The rubber ear tips, just when I sweat or they just feel uncomfortable, they do cause unwanted pressure, things like that. So I always get Comply foam ear tips. Comply foam ear tips are these little tiny foam ear tips, and they form to the inside shape of your ear. They're way more comfortable. You can wear them for longer periods of time, and they don't hurt. They're tacky, so they don't fall out, and you get a good, comfortable fit. And Comply has earbuds for almost every single earbud, even AirPod Pros. And like we all know that they have those weird, like, clip-on ear tips, and so those are super important. If you don't like ear tips or the rubber ones, get some Comply foam ones. They're way better. I'll leave a link down below. All right, so next to those ear tips is, are they easy to put in? Do they rest in your ear? Do you have to like twist and lock them in place? Like me with the foam ones, I squeeze, push in, and kind of twist, and then they stay in place, and I don't have to worry about them ever again. So it just kind of depends on your ear shape. Not everybody's ears are the same. I cannot use AirPods at all. They will fall out 100%. I got the Link Buds not too long ago, and those things would not stay in. They have these little tiny rubber things that just push against the top of your ear, fell out every single time. So it just depends on your ear shape, because everybody's ears are different. All right, and so kind of like as I've been talking, I've been kind of mentioning these, but where are you going to be using them? Are you going to be using them outside, in the gym, inside? That's really going to also determine, because like for instance, if you're using them outside, you want something with ambient noise so you can hear what's going on around you. But you also may want some noise cancellation. Cool thing about Sony's is they have an auto feature that if there's like a car horn or a dog bark or a baby crying or something, it can lower the noise cancellation and pump in everything else around you so you can at least hear what's going on. It's a really neat feature that I wish more companies would work on, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. But yeah, you just want to make sure you focus on where you're going to be using them, because if you're using them in the gym, there's going to be a lot of banging weights, clanging, sometimes screaming, so you may want some noise cancellation. You don't really need ambient sound. And of course, you're going to want to look at sweat resistant for the gym. So it's just kind of putting some of these together and kind of going from there. All right, getting down to the last wire. All right, category number 5, price. So price is going to really play into, of course, everybody's choice when they come to find some headphones. Do you plan on taking care of them? Are they going to be a pair that you're just going to toss in your drawer when you get home, or just toss in your bag that you're only going to use maybe once every other day or something like that? Do you want them to be durable because you're going to be outdoors in the dust and you're sweating and all that stuff? Do you want them to be water resistant because you're going to be in a very wet environment? That's definitely a big factor, because you don't want to spend $200-300 on a pair of headphones that are going to quit in 2 months because you're super rough with them. So, I mean, you might want to take that into account. How often do you use them? So, like I said, every other day or something like that. So, are they going to be your daily driver like my Sonys? I bought a case with a little clip and everything because I want them to go with me everywhere. They are my daily driver. I use them every single day. Do you need a pair with a quick charge time? Because with a lot of these headphones now, you get a quick charge time, like 5 minutes gives you 2 hours of playtime. So if you're about to go to the gym and your headphones are dead, you can throw them on the charger. Some have wireless charging. And you can throw them on the charger and they'll be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours of charge in 5 minutes. And you're set, and you can use them for your full workout. But if you're going to be going on a long trip, you want to make sure that it doesn't take overnight to charge them. But that's definitely a good thing to look for when it comes to how often you use them, is how often you have to charge them. And then, of course, last but not least, the sound quality that you want. That is probably one of the most important ones, because they're headphones. That's what you need them for. Are you going to listen to podcasts, music, audiobooks, different things like that? You want to have the focus on the sound that you want. You don't want to have to worry about, oh, I can't understand what they're saying while they're reading the book, or if you're listening to the news while you're doing your morning routine. You don't want to have to worry about if you missed a word or you misunderstood something. So you want to make sure that you understand that. Are vocals important to you? If you listen to like a lot of opera or a lot of belting, a lot of singers singing really high and loud, then you want to make sure that your vocals are clear and crisp so you don't miss anything. And then, of course, are you a bass head? Extra bass from Sony, Beats. There's plenty of headphones for bass heads, so you may want to like take that into consideration as well and kind of weigh out your options. Okay, so after all this long video, I'm going to put 3 headphones as my top choices that you would want to go for whenever it comes to choosing some earbuds. And I'll definitely put them right here so you can kind of look at them, go check them out, see what you think about them. They're 3 different price points. So, of course, my top choice, the Sony WF-1000X Mark IIIs. Those are my favorite headphones ever. They fit amazing. If you buy the Comply foam ear tips, they are awesome. The foam ones that come with it are okay, but that's my top choice. Second one would be like I said, the Liberty 3 Pros by Soundcore, also by the company Anchor. Those are the ones that were designed by and for audio engineers. So those are a really, really good quality pair. I think they're around $180. Good solid sounding headphones. And then the last pair, the Jabra Elite 3. I have a pair of those. Those things are awesome. Good budget-friendly headphones. Have the button, fit pretty snug. They had the rubber ear tips, so they didn't fit amazing for me, but I loved them. good quality price. I think they're around 60 bucks. I'll make sure I leave a link to every single one of them down below so you can go check those out. But let me know what you guys thought of this video, and if you want me to do a how-to on pretty much anything else like sound bars, computer monitors, RAM, anything, just let me know in the comments below, or shout a comment on Twitch or on my social media, and I'll be more than happy to oblige and look into it for you. But yeah, until next time though, I love y'all. Stay blessed.